Who's here ready to hear about magic? Okay, let's get started. Okay, first I want to introduce our panel today. So first up, Mark Purvis. Can you introduce yourself, Mark?
Sure, I'm the Magic Brand Director, and I do get to play down in R&D every once in a while, so you can see some of the products I've worked on. But ultimately, it's my job to do the marketing of our products. So I'm the kind of guy who's going to sit up here and say, if you like the t-shirts that your panelists are wearing today, be sure to check out mtgmerch.com for all of your apparel and accessory needs.
Okay. Next, Jenna Helland. Jenna, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm on the creative team. I do world building, and I've been on design teams like Theros and Innistrad and creative text, and there you go.
Okay. Okay, next, Dave Guskin. Dave, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Dave. I work on design and development. I actually led the development of Magic 2014, the core set that just came out. Yay, I'm so excited. But my primary job is actually something new. I work on pre-releases and product and event launches, so like the Hell Vault and the Ravnica boxes and things like that, which super exciting. I'm glad to hear you guys like them. That's great.
Okay, and our final panelist, me.
I know that guy.
For those unaware, I'm Magic's head designer, and I've done that for 10 years. I've worked for Wizards for 18 years, and I just started the lead design on my 20th set. Which you will hear about in about 2 years. So. Okay, so what we're going to start today is we're going to talk about some upcoming products. You guys want to hear about some upcoming products? Okay, we'll start with From the Vault 20. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about From the Vault 20. So this is a product that's coming out next month, as you can see. It's special. It's the 20th anniversary From the Vault. There are 20 cards in it, which is up from the normal 15. And we tried to represent each year of Magic. So there's a deck from a winning tournament in each year of Magic, like a Pro Tour or a Worlds, a winning deck from those tournaments. So we think it'll be really exciting. We try to show the breadth of Magic's history. And so I'm going to go through a few of them for you today. So first off, yeah.
Okay.
First off, we have a pretty iconic and awesome card, Jace the Mind Sculptor. Yeah. He's probably the most powerful Planeswalker of all time, and we think he's going to look pretty good foiled and in this box set. Kind of a face card for the product. Then we have Hymn to Torok. Yeah. For the first time in foil, and also with the new art that was in the Magic Online Cube. So that's also for the first time in print. Next up, we have Akroma's Vengeance. Also has new art. We tried to show, like I said, the breadth of Magic. So this is kind of showing like good cards for Cube, good for Commander, kind of showing like some board sweepers, more of the breadth of Magic decks throughout time. And then I'm going to show you another thing. Oh, here we go, a Lotus. So Lotuses are pretty iconic to Magic too. So here's a new art Gilded Lotus, also in the box. And then we have a card that we showed the art for. This is what it is. Impulse, which is it's one of the first times we reprinted it since the original promo version, I believe. And it's got this new art, which we think is pretty exciting. So yeah, I hope you enjoy V20 when it comes out, which is soon, next month.
Okay. Thank you, Dave. Next, we have Duel Decks, Heroes versus Monsters. So this comes out in September, and we do two Duel Decks every year. One is at the beginning of the year. It has a Planeswalker theme. Usually it's one Planeswalker versus another. But what we started doing in the fall is tying it into the theme of our fall set. And so we'll get to the fall theme in a second, but let's just say Heroes versus Monsters fits right in. So Heroes is a deck. It's a white deck that splashes red, and Monsters is a red-green deck. What we do in this product is we preview cards, so there'll be 6 preview cards from Theros in it. There'll be 6 new arts never seen before. There are 3 new arts that have never been seen in paper before. And we have 2 cards that highlight each of the 2 decks. So first, we have Sun Titan. He's the hero side, if you didn't know. And he has brand new art that we shall say is Theros friendly. And then on the monster side, we have Pelucanos, World Eater. This is a card from Theros, so I cannot show you all the text yet.
It's pretty rough, guys.
It's a little early, unfortunately, to be showing you text. But I will say this about it. The Future League is a little concerned about this card because it keeps showing up in decks. So if you like Hydras, this is going to be a very powerful card. And this is an alternate art version of the art. This is not the Theros art. This product has an alternate version. Both the face cards are new art for their cards. Although, ironically, this new art comes out before the actual art. Okay, next we have...
All right. So it sounds like we have a lot of Commander players in here, huh? I'm a big fan of the format myself. For those of you that don't know, Commander is based on a fan-made format. One of the things that Mark has said many times is part of why Magic is so great is that it's not just one game, it's 100 different games. You get to play Magic almost, any way you want. You can play it casually in groups, which is how you play Commander, or you can play in tournaments. And so we developed a product in conjunction with the fans that were maintaining the Commander format about 2 years ago, and we put these 5 Commander decks out to support playing Commander. And they were hugely successful. And we promised you guys more of them. And you've been incredibly patient in waiting for those decks. And I'm happy to say today that we can give you a release date for the next 5 Commander decks. It's going to be this year, November 1st. It will once again be 5 decks. It will once again have 15 new cards in each of those decks, a total of 51 new Magic cards across those decks. And because you guys have been so patient in waiting for these decks, we're going to actually show you one of the new Commanders. Drink it in.
We'll give you a moment to read.
So as you can see, the last Commander decks were wedge decks. These are going to be 3-color shard decks. And you can see that this is one of the, let's call her a Grixis shard Commander, although she is actually from Innistrad.
Yep.
You can see one of the things that we've done this time, or one of the things that R&D has done this time, is played a little bit with the Commander format. So in Commander, when your Commander dies, if you want to recast it, you have to add 2 colorless mana to the casting cost. So R&D has actually built that rule into this card to make it better in some cases over time if she dies. And you're going to see a lot more of that innovation with this product when it comes out later this year.
Okay. So, I think we've run through all the products that are coming out this year. I think we hit them all, right? We didn't miss one?
Yeah, I think that's
oh, no.
There's still one.
We did miss one. Okay, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to run through this once to let you look at the pretty pictures, and then I'll run through it a second time, and I'll walk you through and talk about Theros. So first, the pretty pictures.
You guys are awesome.
Okay. Now let's go through this again with the commentary.
Director's cut.
The director's cut. Okay, so I'm going to talk a lot about Innistrad as I try to explain Theros, because Innistrad is the closest comparison to how we made Theros. So, Innistrad was all about, we wanted to show you the world of Gothic horror. And so we spent a lot of time and energy trying to do a top-down design. So Theros is the exact same thing, just replace Gothic horror with Greek mythology. Now, let me remind you, as was true with Innistrad as well, we are not doing Greek mythology, we are doing a magic world inspired by Greek mythology. So we are doing our spin, magic spin, on what Greek mythology, how it inspires our world. So it's a magic world. We're not doing straight up Greek mythology, but we're doing our take on Greek mythology. Now, the other thing that this is comparison to Innistrad is, Innistrad was the first time that I, as lead designer and head designer, worked with Eric Lauer, who's the head developer. And Innistrad was the first time the two of us, I did the head design, he did the head development, and we worked together. Theros is the second time we've ever worked together. Okay, meet Helion. Helion is god of the sun. He's one of the 5 major gods of Theros. So one of the goals of this product was, we said, we want to capture the feel of Greek mythology. And we had a whiteboard, we wrote everything we could think up on the board. What does Greek mythology mean? And what we finally realized is, you know, the #1 thing that stands for Greek mythology is a pantheon of gods. There will be no way to do this without one. So Theros block has a pantheon of gods. This is Erebos. He's god of the dead. So one of the things we figured out was that if we're going to make magic meet Greek mythology, we needed to take the core of Greek mythology, which is a pantheon of gods, and the core of magic, which is the color wheel. So there are 5 major gods in the pantheon. I'm sure you can figure this one out. I've showed you the god of the sun and the god of the dead. So obviously, we have married the gods of the pantheon of the gods to the color wheel. And we are doing a lot of fun stuff with it. This is Nylea. She is god of the hunt. I'll let you figure out what color she is.
What? How did you know?
Okay, so Nylea.
Look how blue that is.
One of the things we did when we tried to make the set is we wanted to figure out different mechanical themes that would play into this. So it turns out there's a mechanical theme that players have been begging us to do for a long time. And in fact, we've only done it once, long, long ago. And that was an enchantment block. Yes. So for those that have been paying attention in Magic 2014, there are a lot of clues that there's an enchantment block coming, because Dave and his team made sure there were a lot of enchantment-friendly cards there. So this set does have a strong enchantment theme. And that enchantment theme is tied thematically to the gods. Now, I'm not going to tell you how we did it, and I believe that we will surprise you a little bit, because it is not the most obvious way to do it. It's not just enchantment matters, which is how in the past we've done this kind of thing. But we've really, one of the things that I think Magic's strength has come in recent years is we've gotten really good at making our gameplay part of the flavor of the set. And that we have found a way to take enchantments and help bring the gods to life. Okay, of course there are gods, but Greek mythology has more than just gods. Greek mythology also has heroes. And so, look, you're not going to do Greek mythology without heroes. And so one of the things that we decided we wanted to do, when we did Innistrad, what we did is we sat down and we said, okay, what are all the horror films and horror books and horror TV shows? And we thought of every possible trope of horror, if you will. So when we did Theros, we did the same thing, except we took Greek myths. And we did research, we did a lot of research on what exactly is Greek myths. And not just the actual Greek myths, but we looked at pop culture and said, what do people, what are the popular things that pop culture has done with Greek mythology? And we really played around with that. And so what you will see is, as an example, here's a hero killing a minotaur, hint, hint. We are doing a lot of that kind of thing. Now remember, in Innistrad, we didn't do Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We did the Scholar and the Brute, right? We did our version of them. And so this set, you will not see the names. We're not doing Greek mythology, we're doing Magic's version of Greek mythology, but you will see a lot of iconic tropes that you expect to see. Now, another important thing about doing the design, and something I've been pushing very hard for, is because I want design to be part of the flavor, meaning I want the gameplay itself to make you feel the right thing, we spent a lot of time figuring out what is the mood and tone of Greek mythology. Now, in Innistrad, the mood was one of dread and horror and terror. We wanted you kind of afraid. That's what horror is about. But we decided that Greek mythology is about adventure. It's about achievement. It's about, accomplishment. And so this set is built in a way that really lets you kind of play the role of the hero, and that the hero's journey is a very important part of the Greek myth. And our gameplay will follow that. Now, today is not the day we're going to tell you all the mechanics. That comes later. But I'm trying to give you a hint of the kind of mechanics we're going to do. Now, because we're doing Greek mythology, that does mean that named things are important. Greek mythology is full of lots of famous people and things, and the legendary supertype will be used not as much as Kamigawa, but a little bit more than average, because Greek mythology is about classic, iconic things and people, and you definitely will see that in the set. Okay, now you can't do Greek mythology. Yeah, you got to have your gods, you got to have your heroes, but you need your monsters. And one of the reasons that we're attracted to Greek mythology is nobody does monsters like Greek mythology. Greek mythology has a very deep, deep well of monsters. And so one of the things we were trying to do when we built this set is to make sure that we gave the monsters their own due and did something special with the monsters. And so the way I like to say it is we took the monster dial and we turned it up a little. The monsters in the set are a little scarier, a little bigger, because we want our heroes to have something to fight. Because heroes can't be heroes if they don't have something challenging to face them. And so we wanted to make some awesome monsters. So any Minotaur fans in the audience? So one of the differences between this set and Innistrad is Innistrad had a very strong tribal theme. This set, the tribal theme is not nearly as strong, but I will say that one of the tribes we play up the most is Minotaurs. So if you like Minotaurs, this block is for you.
And if any of you are members of the Magic Minotaur Anti-Cruelty Society, you may be vindicated in this block.
If you own a didgeridoo, this set might be for you. Okay, so there are 5 mechanics that are going to appear in Theros. 3 of them are brand new, meaning you've never seen them before. One of those will be associated with the gods, one of them will be associated with the heroes, and one of them will be associated with the monsters. Now, we will also be having 2 other mechanics. One is a straight, we're just bringing it back. We basically figured out that, this mechanic just nailed Greek mythology. It fit Greek mythology perfectly. And people like it, we're bringing it back. The other mechanic is a mechanic that the first time out had an okay reception. I believe we didn't do it as well as we could. I talk a lot about our successes, but sometimes we try things and we don't hit it out of the park the first time. But I believe in this mechanic, so what we did is we tweaked it a little bit. We mechanically changed it just a little bit. We gave it a whole new flavor, and we tied it to the gods. And so the 5th mechanic it's a bring-back mechanic. I'm not going to lie, it's brand new, but it's got a new coat of paint, and it is something that, it is doing something that people have been asking us to do for a while. I'll give you no more than that, but it is definitely playing into something that we've been getting people asking for. Okay, so what else can I tell you about this set? I'll tell you a few things. One is there are 3 planeswalkers, one of which is Elspeth, which Jenna will be talking about in a second. The other 2 are unknown. You've not met them yet. They're brand new planeswalkers. Also, there will be a handful of gold cards, but this set is not a gold set. We will be playing a lot more into monocolor themes. For people who want to see monocolored stuff, there is some monocolored stuff going on. The set is, we like to contrast our sets. Last year was all about gold. This year, there's a little bit of gold because there's some special cards that require it, but it is a minor part of the set. It is not a gold set, and so we will be playing up some monocolor themes. And finally, my last little teaser for you is, 1, there is a Future Sight card in Theros. And 2, there's something we're doing for the first time ever in Theros that we only have ever done once before on another Future Sight card.
Contraption. No comment.
I wish they were contraptions, but okay. So for those that are unaware, Theros comes out in September. It is a large set. Born of the Gods comes out in February. It is a small set. Journey into Nyx comes out in May. It is a small set. This is what we call our default year, large, small, small. Meaning you will draft Theros, Theros, Theros. Then in February you will draft Born of the Gods, Theros, Theros. Then in May, you will draft Journey into Nyx, Born of the Gods, Theros. Okay, I talked about mechanics, but that's only part of what's going on. A really, really big part of the set is the flavor. And I have said to the Vorthoses of the world, if you don't like this set, there is no hope. Because this is a set dedicated to the Vorthoses out there. So Jenna, who is on our creative team, is going to talk about that.
Hey, guys. All right, Elspeth is back. I'm incredibly excited, and I saw some smiles, so I hope you are excited as well. I'm going to give you a peek of a little bit of the storyline and some concept art. All right, so when we first saw Elspeth in Bant in Shards of Alara, she'd found the home she always wanted. The conflicts came and destroyed her world, and now she's searching for a new home. She wants a plane that offers her security and comfort and actually anonymity. Elspeth doesn't want to be a hero. She's actually been to Theros before. She briefly visited before she found Bant years ago. At the time, the idea of gods kind of terrified her, and she left. But she'd always remembered the blue skies and the green rolling hills, and now she's back because the idea of gods appeals to her. She doesn't believe that she'll be called on to be a leader in a place that has such a great presence as the gods. And here we have some concept art. Next slide, Mark. There we go. This is by Jason Chan. This is from our, I think everything else from here is going to be from our style guide. So you get to see a look at our style guide. So this is Fafsa, God of the Sea. Like Mark said, we put our own spin on this, but the gods do play a constant presence in people's lives. Mortals make small offerings and tributes daily. Gods can take multiple forms and walk among the mortals. Thassa's favorite form here is a Triton. When they are not among the mortals, the gods live in Nyx. And this is a realm. Next slide, please, Mark. This art is by Sam Burley. So this realm is the star-filled sky. The images of the gods and their stories play out nightly for the mortals to watch. They watch these from the safety of their walled cities. There are 3 major walled cities. The first is, and here we go, this is concept art by Adam Paquette. This is Miletus. We were inspired by Athens when we designed Miletus. It's the city of thinkers and philosophers. Here you'll find great temples and oracles and academies. Oh, we're not quite there yet. This is Akros. Akros has Spartan overtones. Akros cultivates a warrior culture that revolves around perfecting the body and the mind for combat. The third great city is Setessa, which is a haven in the wilds. We were inspired by the legends of the Amazons for this. So no matter where you come from in every city, you already saw, you will find heroes. You get to see some concept art of our heroes. This is concept art by Prescott on the left and Richard Witters on the right. In Miletus, they tend to worship Helion, the god of the sun. All heroes strive to win God's favor through great deeds. Let's move on to Akros. Okay, Akros is on the left, and Setessa is on the right. Nylea, the goddess or god of the hunt that you saw earlier, has a strong influence in Setessa. So no matter where they were born, the heroes of the world struggle to satisfy the whims of the gods and to keep themselves safe from the monsters that inhabit the wilds of the world. Because outside of the walled cities, Theros is a very dangerous place indeed. So we have some concept art of our monsters. Some of these will feel very familiar to you, to the Magic player. Of course, we have our griffins and our sphinx, but with a new identity for our Greek world. Elspeth will have to fight gorgons and minotaurs and a very formidable hydra. Here's a preview of card art by Eric Deschamps of her fighting the hydra. As she searches Theros for a home, for a sense of belonging and safety, she comes to the attention of Helion, the god of the sun. And as the fates will have it, she will find herself on a journey, the path to becoming a hero. As a player, you too will get to have a chance to take a hero's journey. And I'm going to turn it over to Dave.
Yeah, so nice work, Jenna. So as I mentioned earlier, I work on sort of pre-release activities and things that kind of make the game come to life a little bit more beyond the card game. So I'm going to tell you about kind of an ambitious campaign that we're going to put into your hands with the Hero's Path. which is, as Jenna said, we're trying to represent the mythological hero's journey for you, the player, across many events. So this is a block-long campaign, starting with Theros, going all the way through Journey into Nyx. I'm going to talk about it today. So we're going to start with the Theros pre-release. And one thing I want to mention to you guys is we had some great reception, so we're bringing back the pre-release packs. So these are, yeah. Yeah, we think these do a really great thing for sealed deck play at pre-releases. We think it's great to give you guys some stuff inside the box you can take with you. And it's also a great system for us to deliver to you an activity at the pre-release, and in this case, something that can continue on through the rest of the campaign. So this, the Theros pre-release is Quest 1 on the hero's path, which is choose your path. You get to choose what path you want your hero to take. Do you want to be an honorable one? Do you want to be ambitious? Do you want to be reckless or feckless? That's for you to decide. And of course, as Mark mentioned, in the Greek mythology-inspired magic world, that corresponds to colors. So you can see that in how each color plays out, and each of these boxes has that as a primary color. So inside the box is a special new type of card called a hero card. This is not a magic card, but it has magic-like abilities. And it becomes important later in the hero's path. So inside each of these boxes is one of these cards. It kind of acts like a Vanguard avatar, if you're familiar with those. Sorry, yeah, Vanguard card from paper, an avatar in Magic Online. So you can see here, this is a few of those cards. And they're simple effects, but they'll help buff you as you get into kind of later on the journey when you come up against a great challenge and you need something to help you out. So that's what these cards do. Okay, so Quest 1 is Choose Your Path. That's where you get this first hero card. Then we move on to Quest 2, which is during the launch weekend for Theros. So we start with the pre-release, then we go to launch weekend. And launch weekend is you have been called upon to be a hero by one of the gods. So you go into the store, there's going to be a puzzle there to do, just a very straightforward, kind of interesting puzzle poster. And when you solve it, when you kind of earn the favor of the gods, you will get a second hero card. So now you'll have 2 hero cards, which is pretty cool. What are they for? Well, they're for buffing you during the third quest, which is facing the Hydra. So as with any heroic journey, you need to kind of build up your experience, kind of leave home, and then eventually you're going to face a great challenge. And in this case, that is facing the Hydra. And we have a special, exciting new experience that you'll have in stores called a challenge deck. So a challenge deck is a unique experience that plays kind of like Magic. You bring your own Magic deck to game day. There will be the normal game day tournament there, but in between rounds or afterward, you'll be able to play against a special kind of encounter with a Hydra that has this special card back and has special new game abilities. So the Hydra plays just like you would expect a Hydra to act. It has these heads that attack you each turn. You have to cut off these heads using your creatures. They grow back because Hydras do that, so it's actually kind of difficult to finish it off. And then it has special abilities that kind of affect your creatures and the way the game plays. So I think this is going to be a really exciting way to just kind of get more involved with the story, right? Become part of the myth. And if you love these decks, that's great. You'll be able to purchase them after game day. You can play them with your friends. You can play them one-on-one against somebody taking turns playing the Hydra. So we think it'll be really exciting. And you get to take those hero cards, which represent kind of leveling up over time, and choose which ones you want to bring with you to take into this experience of the Hydra. And then, of course, once we've done this quest, go next slide. Then we'll continue. So this is the first arc, kind of the Theros arc, and then we're going to have 2 more arcs, one for Born of the Gods and one for Journey to Nyx. And the challenges will become ever greater. You'll kind of leave home into the wide world and then even go further into Nyx, into Journey into Nyx. And the challenges become more and more difficult, but the hero cards you get become more and more powerful. So we hope that that'll be an exciting way to experience this campaign, kind of become a hero above and beyond just playing with the cards and the sets. And then you'll be getting these hero cards, which you can use to customize your experience against these challenge decks. So I know it's a lot to take in, kind of gave you the broad overtones, but I think it'll be really exciting. I'm super excited about it. And yeah, so that's the hero's path.
How many of you guys, no, go ahead. Yeah, clap for that. How many of you guys have a local game store that you play Magic in every week? That's awesome.
Yeah.
So these events are, in case you missed it, the first step is at the pre-release. The second step is at launch weekend, so go there for Friday Night Magic, the weekend that Theros launches. And then the final one is on game day. And if you don't already know when those events are, you can go to wizards.com/locator to find a store near you that's running these events, and then talk to your local store about how to get involved in the hero's path.
And even if you don't catch at the beginning, you can always come in later. As I said, you'll be getting hero cards the whole time. So if you just want to come in at the end and try to beat the final boss, you can still do that, and you'll bring your own standard deck to play against these challenge decks.
Okay. So before we end the panel, and we're going to ask some questions in a second.
I have one more thing before your one more.
Okay. We have a couple things before the thing. So what happened was I said I wanted to end with something splashy. And my hope was I wanted to show you a card from Theros, but I was told I wasn't allowed to show you any text. But I'm a gamer, so I said, okay, I can't show you any text. Could I show you something exciting that's just the card and the art in the frame? And I found something. So I'm not going to talk about this, but here's one more thing that you'll find in Theros. That is a brand new frame, that's all I'm allowed to say. Okay, now we come to the question portion. But before...
And it's a rush.
All right, while you guys are lining up, I have another announcement to make. The great guys at Cascade Games are running Magic tournaments in the Marriott, which is attached to this building. So whatever your skill level, if you're looking for a casual tournament, if you're looking for a fun time playing Magic at this convention, go over to the Marriott and check it out. They're giving away some awesome prizes. They have a foil uncut sheet of Modern Masters, and I just heard before this panel that they're running a two-headed giant Modern Masters tournament, which makes me very jealous that I'm not allowed to play in Magic tournaments.
Oh, on
Sunday.
On Sunday, awesome.
Yes.
And then one more thing. We wanted to leave you guys with something to take with you when you left. So we actually have the first 5 hero cards from the pre-release packs here today. So as you leave, you'll get one of them. Make sure you catch one of the people in the Golden Laurels or somebody they tell you to talk to, and they'll give you one of those cards as you leave. So I hope you enjoy it.
Okay.
Wait, one more thing about that. One more thing. Sorry. On the back of the hero cards, you'll see some URLs and some codes that you can redeem on Planeswalker points. Those are not active yet, and they won't be for a few months. You guys are getting a special treat today.
Okay. Okay, so every year we come, we show you cool things about the future, but we always want to leave some time for you guys to ask questions. And so ask away. We want to know what you guys want to know. Is the mic on?
I don't think so. Oh,
No.
yeah. Hi. I was wondering if you were ever going to make, like, coins for the game, because, like, recently, like, Ralzarek and Molten Birth and stuff, they have coins you have to flip, and if you don't have, like, a real coin on you, are you ever going to make, like, magic coins, like, actually made for the game?
Like magic branded coins?
Yeah.
I think that's
like,
a great
instead of having to
question.
flip a quarter.
That's a really great idea. You know, in Darksteel, there were some actual promotional Darksteel coins made, but that was a long time ago. That's something that we haven't thought about doing, but it's something we will think about.
That's a great idea.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
Brian David Marshall had a coin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, a Game Center coin.
Yeah, so that's actually what I use when I play Magic. A long time ago, there used to be arcades that were owned by Wizards of the Coast, and the tokens that they use have the Wizards of the Coast logo on them.
That's true. Okay.
Thank you, Brian.
Next question.
Are you guys ever going to think of maybe putting a guaranteed amount of foil cards in a booster box and Fat Pack?
I'm sorry,
Like in the booster box, there's a guaranteed 3 mythic rare cards. Are you ever going to decide to make a guaranteed amount of foil cards in it?
we don't put a guaranteed of anything because the nature of a trading card game, we don't have that much precision, believe it or not, that when we print things, we can't guarantee things is the problem.
Because on the booster boxes it says a guaranteed 3 mythics sometimes.
I believe what the booster box says is the ratio by which they appear. We can't. The reason we do not guarantee things is we aren't actually able to guarantee it, and we never want to promise you something we can't 100% deliver on.
Mm.
We're being honest with you folks. I'm just trying to tell you the honest truth.
When you buy an intro pack, you're gonna get a foil card every time. You can see it through the box.
Good pitch. That was
Okay,
good.
next question.
Hi. I was wondering, why did you decide to base the newest set off Greek mythology?
Oh, why did we decide to do Greek mythology? Well, it's something we've talked about for a long time. And for a while, we avoided it because so much of Magic normally does Greek mythology that we were like, could we make this special? And I think what Innistrad taught us was how much, when you do top-down design and you get the creative team doing all their amazing work, that it all comes together to make a really awesome world. And we just said, you know what? We think we can do Greek mythology and do it really well. I mean, Jen, do you want to add to this?
No, that's pretty much. I mean, it's such a heroic, and monster-filled place that we were on the creative team. We were super excited when it came up, and
I mean, it plays to Magic strengths. Magic does all the stuff I'm talking about. Magic does that well. Magic does heroic well. Magic does monsters well. So it really just plays to Magic strengths. And like I said, having seen all the art and all the cards, you guys are in for a treat. Theros is awesome. So I really think you guys are going to like Theros. It is, yeah.
Thank you.
I have to say, the design team, the development team, the creative team, everybody's A game. You guys will be very happy. It turned out really, really good.
Hold on just 1 second. So we have to pause in the questioning because we have a special guest with a special announcement. So you guys might know her from Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along blog. You might know her from Geek and Sundry. Or you might know her as Chandra from our recent Magic 2014 video. I hope she's at one of the doors. I'd like to introduce the hardest working lady in geek entertainment, Miss Felicia Day. All right! How many of you guys were at the Geek and Sundry party last night? Yeah, that was awesome.
Where do I go? Did somebody tell you I was coming to that door? Because that was so awkward. I had no idea anyone was going to look at me. I was like, oh, I'll be in the back. And I think I peed a little. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming.
What time did you stay at the party? 2, 3, 4?
Midnight? No.
It was an awesome party.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. Thank you guys for coming. It was so fun to just be like, let's have a party and just just open the door, come in and drink and don't vomit anywhere. That's thrilling. Anyway.
So when I introduced you, I said you would have a special announcement.
Oh, good. Thanks for telling me. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, I'm so unprofessional. I was just standing out there on my phone drinking this weird juice it's Simic juice.
Gross.
I'm very excited to announce, which we did at the panel, that we're going to be doing a magic show on Geek and Sundry. Very exciting. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Sean Day 9 Plot. He's going to be hosting the show, and it's going to be a show geared toward showing, not instructional. It's going to be for everybody. Like if you're a pro, we want it to be really interesting to you as far as strategy and things like that. But also for somebody who's never played, we want to make it accessible for people, just like tabletop is. For us, I'm not sure if you're familiar with tabletop. It's a show that Will Wheaton does. Yeah. So we really wanted to make a show that would be like that. It's something to inspire people to pick up a deck and play, just like I was inspired to pick up a deck and play this year, because I'm given a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of things in this nerd world, and you can't love them all. And I have to say, I've had more fun learning and playing this game with my friends and my brother especially in the last year or so than anything I've done in quite a while. So I'm really, really grateful to be a part of this community and excited to be a producer and hopefully a guest on the show that Sean's going to be doing. So I hope you guys watch. Okay, I gotta go. Okay, bye.
Okay, we'll now resume our questions.
Hi.
Hello.
Do you consider Modern Masters a success? And what are the chances of having a Modern Masters 2 or maybe even a Legacy Masters?
Okay, Mark, we'll let you answer this one.
Yeah, sure. I believe we feel like Modern Masters was a success. It was a lot of fun to play, wasn't it? I mean, it still is. So it was a really challenging product for us to develop, though, because when we were developing it, we wanted to make a product that would allow the modern format to be more accessible to people that were interested in playing that format, while still being respectful of the collections of people who had spent a lot of time acquiring all of the key cards for their best decks. And when it comes to that sort of thing, we're always going to be very conservative. And I know that Modern Masters might have been a little bit hard to get, but it's the kind of thing that we believe was so successful that we're looking at ways that we can repeat that success in the future.
So an informal survey, who here would like a Modern Masters 2? Okay.
So to answer the second part of your question, though, about a Legacy Masters, it's the same challenge that we have with supporting that format, and that's that the reserved list prevents us from reprinting a lot of the cards on it.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you.
Hi. My fiance and I both met at a local game store, and we've been together for about 13 years. And recently, we've been having a discussion of who would win in a fight, the Phyrexians or the Eldrazi. Is there any way we could see that
win in
fight?
A fight? Yeah. I believe the end result is Phyrexianized Eldrazi, so humanity loses? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
That sounds awful. Jeez.
Is there any way we can see that?
Well, we're trying to spend some time and energy building up the Phyrexians and building up the Eldrazi. I'm sure, because I get this question constantly, perhaps somewhere down the road, maybe they will meet. But we want to... There's so much cool things we can do with them individually before we ever pit them against one another. So let's have some time first building them up first before we do that. But I guarantee you, people keep asking for it. So.
With how you guys are trying to make Modern more accessible to players, is there any kind of plan in the future to reprint land fixing, kind of like the fetch land, scouting tarn, things like that, anytime soon?
One of the things that's exciting to us about Modern is that we do have the ability to reprint any of the cards in it. And so I think that is definitely something you should expect to see in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Modern was made, so we could reprint things.
What's the process been like at Wizards with the growing outcry over female objectification in art and Wizards' response to that? And M14 was much better, that we've enjoyed seeing that. Yeah.
Will Jenna answer this?
So I want to say it's something that's incredibly important to me and it's incredibly important to the team. We want to show women in a heroic and powerful light. And that's something we've been, we've listened to what people have been saying. We talk about it a lot. And it is a game about combat, and we want to show women doing heroic things in combat, and the needs of story means sometimes they're not always going to win, but I just want to say that it's something we talk about, and it's something that's important to us, and it's been on our radar, of course, in the past year. Heroic and powerful, that's
Thanks.
what we want to do.
Yeah. Okay, next question?
Yeah. My question was, well, up until today, I've been hearing about given the recent reworking of the Legendary rule and the Legends heavy set Theros, did you have EDH in mind when designing this, or was that sort of a tertiary thought? Is there anything it's going to be?
Well, so one of the challenges of designing Magic and developing Magic and just making Magic is that there are a lot of different audiences, right? The game is different games to different people. And so Commander is something that's very popular. We're aware of it. We think about it. I mean, I would not... Whenever we make a legendary creature, we very much say, oh, this could be a commander. We don't limit ourselves by commander, meaning if we make an awesome legendary creature that doesn't make sense in commander, but it's an awesome card, we won't limit ourselves by the format, but we are conscious of it. And we very much think about commander. And so now, we also think about lots and lots of other formats. It's not like any one format hijacks our attention. We try to make sure every format gets as much as we can. And the juggling act that we are constantly trying to do is making every player happy with every single product.
And I would say specifically about the Legendary rule change, we did playtest a lot of Commander with that in mind. So as we're, for example, working on C13, that was something that came up a lot, and we worked through that in playtesting.
Okay, next question.
Hi there.
Hello.
I had a question. Did you use the Magic the Gathering Online metadata specifically for the cubes when you were trying to design Modern Masters?
I do not know the answer to that.
I can talk a little bit to that. I mean, I wasn't.
It's a really high design question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, I wasn't in like the detail level of work, but I did talk with Eric Lauer a lot about Modern Masters. I know that it was developed in parallel in a lot of ways with some of the Cube work. Max McCall, who does a lot of the Cube updates for Magic Online, was involved on both the design and development teams for Modern Masters. So yes, I would say for sure it was informed by at least the vision of the Cube, if not also the data. I don't know specifically how they would have used that data, but yes, okay. I think that was involved in the
I would have done it that way. I figured there would be a really smart way of doing it.
Yeah,
so.
it is a smart way of doing it. I think they were informed by it.
Try to do things the smart way whenever possible.
When we remember to, yeah.
Next question.
I was wondering, with the popularity of Cube Online, if you would ever consider releasing a paper form. And I understand because collectability standpoint, some of the cards you can't reprint. Would you consider reprinting it with a different back similar to the World's decks?
That's a great question, and that's definitely a challenge for us. On the one hand, we love supporting formats that have grown in popularity like Cube has. On the other hand, as you mentioned, it's tough to print a power cube in real life at this point. So what I will say is it's something that we do think about, it's something that we do talk about, and we are looking for ways that we can support the Cube format in future products.
Hi, my question is, in non-tribal themed sets, how much of creature types for creatures are design, development, or creative team work?
So the way it works is when we design cards, if we care what the creature type is, we mark it in our card. And every set has some tribal component to it. It's a dial how much tribal. For example, Theros block has a little bit of tribal, but it doesn't have as much as, say, something like Innistrad had or Lorwyn, obviously. So what happens is if we don't mark it, then the creative team, go ahead, what does the creative team do if we don't mark it?
Well, when we're developing a world for a set, we make sure we have the answers for all colors and sizes of creatures. So if it's not been dictated by design, then we'll go back to our style guide and see what makes the most sense, and we try to keep a balance between things. So we have some flexibility when it's open, but it also has to fit into the structure that we've built with our world building.
Right, and to take it one step further, when development gets involved, there's a conversation between development and creative. For example, creative may not be aware that there's a human tribal deck in standard, and so we'll talk about, oh, we want more humans or less humans in this set. So it's definitely a three-way conversation.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, well, you guys have done a lot over the past number of years, going back probably starting in Unglued with the creative stuff you can do on the card face, right?
Yeah.
Ranging from the full art lands to the cool sort of stuff that was the exclusive this year. How far are you willing and able to go in terms of artistic and creative license on the front, on the card face? And like, what are you willing to do to wow us next?
So one of the things our teaser might hopefully tell you is we are becoming much more willing to play around with the face of the card and the frame of the card. Obviously, we had Planeswalkers start to break the image just like the Uncards had. And so design and creative, I know we have been looking, and development, have been looking to find the visuals as resources to be able to do new game mechanics and such. And so the answer is we're very willing. There are not that many taboos. We are willing to slay the sacred cows, as they say. And we are looking to do more with the card face.
Cool, great.
So, guys, that's our last question today. Thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you.